President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday, March 30, 2022, delivered his State of the Nation address in line with Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution, which stipulates that the President shall, at the beginning of each session of Parliament and before dissolution of Parliament, deliver to Parliament a message on the state of the nation. The President touched on numerous aspects of the Ghanaian life, including the state of the economy, education, agriculture, and digitization, among others. The following report puts together some key highlights of the President's speech.
From update on domestic vaccine production to Agenda 111, the cost of containing the COVID-19 pandemic, the impact of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, to progress with infrastructure development, the President touched on all key aspects of the Ghanaian life. On the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the President outlined some steps taken to shield Ghanaians as well as the total financial cost.
Mr. Speaker, we have saved lives and fared much better than we had feared and the experts predicted. But the consequences of lockdowns, border and business closures, and unplanned expenditures have combined to have a devastating impact on our economy. We provided nearly 5 million households and over 10 million people with electricity and water subsidies at the time they were most needed. In all, data from the Ministry of Finance tells us that an amount of 17.7 billion cedis, 4.6% of GDP, has been spent in containing the pandemic since 2020.
The President also highlighted the impact of the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine on Ghana's economy.
The economic devastation of COVID has since the beginning of this year been further aggravated by the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which has worsened the economic outlook of the entire world. We in Ghana have not escaped this development, and the consequences are being felt in rising living costs at our markets and at fuel stations.
The tourism sector, which has been one of the worst hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, also received some mention. According to President Akufo-Addo, steps are being taken to reclaim the gains lost to the COVID years.
Last year, the country recorded some 623,523 visitors, up from the 55,108 visitors the year before, signifying a marked rebound of our tourism sector. We should recapture those glorious moments and build on them as we work hard to reclaim what we lost to the COVID years. Government is therefore undertaking a comprehensive renovation and modernization of tourist attractions across the country, such as the Cape Coast and Elmina Castles, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, which will enable us to position Ghana as the preferred tourism destination in West Africa.
For agriculture, the President highlighted the successes of the Planting for Food and Jobs program while noting the investment made in irrigation infrastructure, vegetable farming, among others. He further lauded the various interventions introduced in the agri sector, describing them as critical.
There is no doubt that for the vigorous interventions we have made in agriculture in the past 5 years, which have made us more self-reliant in our food needs, our country would have been at much greater risk as the fallout from the dramatic worldwide increases in freight charges hit prices in our markets and on our supermarket shelves.
Commenting on arguably one of the most debated policies ever introduced by the government, President Akufo-Addo commended Parliament for passing the Electronic Transfer Levy Bill, adding that it will help improve the fortunes of the country's economy.
Mr. Speaker, despite the protracted and sometimes acrimonious nature of proceedings, I'm happy that the House has finally found it possible to pass the E-levy bill. I believe strongly the levy is going to make a significant contribution to revenue mobilization and the management of the national economy. And I want to thank members of the House for making this possible.